Thanks for checking out the Future Fox podcast. Today's guest is Ronnie Kendrick. He is the founder and CEO of Company Clean. They are a premium residential cleaning service. We talked a lot about, he's a big systems guy. He loves marketing and generating leads and converting those. So he's a wealth of knowledge. So make sure you enjoy this conversation. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts and enjoy the episode. We are definitely rolling. So Ronnie Kendrick, thanks so much for being here on the Future Fox podcast. Ronnie is the founder of Company Clean. Why don't you give us like your 60-second elevator pitch of what you guys do?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Matt. So yeah, we are a residential house cleaning company out here in the South Denver metro area. And our whole focus whenever it comes to house cleaning is really elevating the customer service aspect. Because I know whenever I had house cleaners, I would be on I'd have them on the schedule and then they just wouldn't even show up.
Jeez.
Or for my investment properties, we would have them come over and they would just leave during a cleaning and stuff. And I'm like, did they finish? Are we done? And then they just wouldn't follow up with me. I couldn't get a hold of them or anything. And so I knew just redefine customer service here. Like I was telling you right before the podcast, is I accept nothing less than 5-star from my business, whether that's me, my employees, or just how we do business. It's always 5-star, and I'm just there for the customer. And I want to do that for the employees too, because cleaning is a tough business, right? You're out there, it's very physical. You're down on your hands and knees all day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it, and I'm 40, right? It's very, very tough.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that these folks are paid well, which is a big thing to me. Because here in Denver, I just paid $10 for a carton of eggs, right? And I want them to be able to afford eggs or even better, a home.
Sure.
So we make sure that we have great rates for both us and the customers and our employees so that they can stay here in Denver and live and just have a nice, healthy, happy life.
How are you able to stay competitive then against your competitors who maybe aren't paying quite the wages that you are?
Well, one way is the best way is if they've had past experience with a housekeeping company, because same for me, right? They'll be my cleaners didn't show up. We would get surprise billing. They would say all of a sudden it costs a lot more, or we just would never hear from them again. We can't find them.
Where'd they go?
Right. So we stay in contact, very transparent on everything that we do, follow up. You don't even pay us for a cleaning until we call you and make sure that you are 100% satisfied, because only then do we make the charge. And if you're not happy, we come out, re-clean for free.
Wow. And
if they're still not happy, we'll just give them the cleaning for free.
Okay.
So we have an awesome guarantee. And with things like that, your rates do go up, right? Having a front desk, having uniforms, having training, all of these kind of things is reflected in the rate, but it's reflected in our quality and commitment to the customers.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you you get burned once or twice, you're willing to pay that little bit extra, I imagine, for the guarantee, right? It's a premier experience.
Exactly. That's how we bill it. And we tell people, we'll be straight up, you will find people cheaper than us, but you won't find people that match our value.
Yeah. Well, cool. Tell me about your background then. Or when did you start this business?
Back in January 2022.
Okay. So it's only been 3 years. Congratulations on 3 years.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Still in business?
Yep.
What do they say? Most businesses don't make it this far. So
yeah.
You're already ahead of the curve. Good job. So what's your background in?
Software engineering, actually.
Okay. Is that did you go to school for software engineering?
No. So I actually went to college for one day.
Okay.
So
I like that. I'm jealous. I wish I had only gone for one day.
I went to college and they go, open your English textbooks to chapter, I don't remember what it was. Yeah. And I go, I literally just did this in high school.
Yeah.
Dropped out and got my IT job.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that for about 20 years now.
Nice.
And started.
Any regrets on that decision?
No, because all the folks like coming up through my 20s and 30s, they were like, how do I make the money that you do?
Yeah.
And they all went to college. Like, I mean, as we all know, student loan debt is crushing.
Yep.
Even for things like art degrees and stuff, like people are like, I have $100K in debt, and I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So that helped me establish a foothold, get housing and all that.
What sort of
stuff.
IT, you go and get certifications?
Yeah, I got certifications in like routing and switching.
Okay.
I don't want to bore the audience with all the technical stuff.
I like that stuff.
But-
There's a switchboard back there. Yeah.
Yeah, got all of the certifications because like I have ADHD, like actual diagnosed ADHD,
Okay.
not like making stuff up. And I don't do well in class environments.
Me neither.
But learning on my own, that kinetic feel, failing and learning from that failure on my own. So that helped me get those certifications. And I really enjoyed that much more than like an in-person school experience.
And when you're like 20 years old, like having someone read you an English textbook, you're just like, this is the biggest waste of my life right now. Yeah.
But
I think definitely college is great for my wife is a professor. So, and then I am like, I wish I hadn't gone to college. So we are the opposite ends of, the spectrum there.
Well, I'm not going to name names or whatever, but I mean, I have worked for an education company, right? So I do understand the value of it.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely like certain industries you have to go to college to learn, right? But I got a degree in psychology, a bachelor's, like, and a minor in criminal justice. Like, never going to use that thing ever. I just lit $100,000 on fire.
And
so
I do have an MBA now, actually.
Oh, cool.
So a couple years back, and gets into why I started this
yeah,
business.
that was my next question. What was the impetus for starting this business?
So during COVID, obviously, we all had a lot of time on our hands, right? I found out about online colleges and that it does work much better with ADHD. That you can go at your own pace. If you already know material, you can test out of it.
Cool.
And so I got a 4-year degree in 13 months. So
Wow.
finished my bachelor's.
Holy crap.
And then recently I got my MBA, the 2-year degree in 5 months.
Okay.
And so with all of that,
So you can get hyper-focused when you need to.
Yeah,
If you're really interested in it.
exactly, if I commit to something, I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to do it really well.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, I was like, with all this, I should probably start a business, right?
Yeah.
I was looking for something low capital because I didn't have like a ton of startup money for it. And if it failed, I didn't want to be broke or something like that. And so I chose house cleaning after reading like Reddit and looking online and seeing like success that people had had. And it was probably actually a very naive.
It also needs to
choice.
be AI proof at this point. If you're starting a business today, it needs to be AI proof.
And I do tell that to our teams is that like, this is not a job that AI is going to take at any time soon. Robots, you're not going to have like Rosie the robot or whatever her name was in the Jets, and she ain't.
She's not going to get down and scrubbing your tile.
Yeah, those little clampy hands. That's going to break stuff, right? So I chose it probably, again, it being very naive because it's a commoditized industry. But again, just studying, learning, listening, podcasts, books, all of those kind of things. We have turned Company Clean into something that like you're not going to see, but we're in the top 5% of house cleaning companies with what it is that we do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. That's awesome. So when was the moment when you're like, cleaning company, that's it? Do you remember a moment?
Yeah. Again, like whenever I was reading on Reddit and everything, just going through like
what subreddit
r/ entrepreneur or like sweaty startup, those kind of things, entrepreneur ride along, all of those.
Okay.
Going through that, I was like, this is one that I can do remotely if I wanted to, which really it isn't a remote business anymore. I'm pretty hands-on on everything, but it is one that you can systematize very well, which I really liked. There's a lot of automation that you can do in the background, customer follow-up, emails, like how you handle your marketing. And again, being an IT background, that kind of stuff really appealed to me. And we went ahead and just implemented all of that. Because again, like the cleaners that you find on like Facebook or Nextdoor, they don't have any.
They don't have a system. They just Venmo and text message.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's their system, and just praying that they remember.
Right. Exactly. No follow-ups. Like if they do have a lead come in and they're out there cleaning, right? If you're not responding to a message within 15 minutes, you have a massive drop off on if you're going to get that.
Yeah.
So if you're out there doing the job and you don't have some way of like automatically
someone else
following up,
they're filling out 8 forms, right?
Think of it. Anytime that you go and look up something on Google, do you just go to one business review or whatever and say like, okay, I called them, they didn't answer, I'm done. No, you're calling the next 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
So got to have those systems in place. They don't. And that's why like they just fight over scraps is what I see quite a bit. But as for like, the moment that I was like, aha, it's cleaning, it was definitely once I saw all the processes that you can do and put in place.
Yeah. And do you have a physical space for storage and things like that and people to?
We do. Yes, we have my garage.
Okay, nice.
Where I put everything right now.
They swing by and grab everything they need.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have plans of what I want to do. I don't really care if I say it on this podcast or whatever, but I think what I'm going to do is like, so in an office, we don't really need an office for house cleaning, right? You need a house. That's what should be your office. So we're going to purchase a home here coming up in the next year or two, and we're going to make that our office.
Okay.
And that's going to be a training facility because you need to be able to do baseboards. You got to be able to do shower doors and stuff. If I go buy commercial space, I'm not finding that anywhere. I'm not finding ovens or fridges and things like that,
Okay.
right? So that will be our office coming up here in the next 18 months.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like an expensive way to do that though. Because you just,
think?
I mean, you think they need to be trained on all of those things before they get out in the field, or can they on the job training? Because you're partnering cleaners up, right?
Yes.
Like new cleaners with experienced ones.
Yep. But again, that systemization that I'm talking about, the processes, we have a manual that isn't fully implemented yet, but it will be. Every single cleaning will be done the same way, no matter what team.
Wow.
And that's my goal. Because again, like that's how you get the happy customers. That's how you get the referrals is by just doing awesome jobs. And until we
doing
can,
it the same way every time.
right, exactly.
'Cause sometimes like we have a cleaner and sometimes she cleans our shower and sometimes she doesn't, you know, and then she sends a different cleaner sometimes and that person cleans other things differently. And so it's always a surprise when I get home on cleaning day, what exactly is going to be deep cleaned, what isn't. It always looks nice and it's always, you know, but yeah, it's different every time.
Exactly. But then you can write off that office as a training like facility. You can write it off on taxes and things like that too. And then I still have to look up the legality of this part of it is I'm going to put it as an Airbnb on the weekends.
Okay.
And then it pays for that part of the facility.
And it should always
everything
be
as
very
well.
clean.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Like think about it. When you go to look at an Airbnb and you see cleaning fee, $300, like I have to pay that for being there for a weekend.
Yep.
That's a competitive edge. I don't have to put that on there.
Yeah. That's very funny. Yeah. Yeah. Because if it's dirty, then that's just opportunity for them to learn.
Exactly.
Right? It's
That's
just training.
the whole point of it. Yep.
Interesting. All right. That's cool. I've never thought about that, obviously. So tell me about how do you market your business? You talked about your Google reviews, but what other ways are you doing marketing? Is it all digital? Do you do some physical marketing?
So I flip-flop on back and forth on this, which is probably one of the worst ways of doing business because you got to find one thing, stick with it, fail at it, and do it well. Eventually, like you can't be trying every single thing. So
I think there's a time to like try different things and see what sticks and also see what you enjoy.
For sure.
Right? You're like, what's working and what can I handle? You know what I mean? Do I want to go door to door and tape stuff? No, I hate that. But you know, you got to try it to know, right?
Exactly.
Do I want to try to learn Google ads? Am I going to sit there for hours and perfecting these little Google ads or what? So
yeah, I'm saying like more like different channels, right? Like don't put like $300 into Google 1 month and then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to try Facebook the next, and I'm going to try Yelp. Like that's a bad way of going about it.
For sure.
So we do have our digital side, our PPC, LSA, any home service people here listening, they're going to know what the local service ads are for like if you're finding like HVAC, carpet cleaners, roofers, those kind of things. And that's probably been one of our biggest successes is LSA. But it's becoming much more difficult. Google's making changes.
They're constantly tinkering with everything, man.
Exactly. Well, they realize that with LSA for the home services, we're paying less for leads, so we're paying less to Google, and they're wanting to change that up so that it's bringing that back up.
Yeah. They're not making any profit out here anymore.
Oh no,
Google's just
they're a small bean company.
Yeah,
man.
I know. They're just pennies now. Yeah, penny stocks. You can buy Google in the penny stocks, I think.
But yeah, so Angie's is another really good source for us.
Okay.
Just like where they send you leads, you're almost buying them, but they just kind of send them to you. But we have been, the way that I'm looking at it now is like everyone's online. That's the problem. That's why you're seeing PPC like skyrocket. And so we are going back to the more in-person things. I think after COVID, everyone having to do everything digitally, they want to do more in-person, more meeting you and everything like that.
Yeah.
So we have been going towards like flyers, more BNI meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I hired a business developer actually to where she's going physically to property managers, apartment complexes, things like
Okay.
that to win their business. Because I really think that's where it's going to take off is the in-person, the relationships, rather than like the PPC is like that just kind of keeps your lights on. Like it's jobs day to day,
Sure.
but the in-person stuff is going to blow it up.
You think that's what's going to grow the business?
Yes, exactly.
So what is the, we'll get there. I want to ask about that, but, so tell me about your sort of, your perfect client, your perfect avatar in the client world. Who are you guys targeting? What are you looking for? Who do you do the best job for? Your bread and butter service.
So the bread and butter would be between 35 and 55 with 2 to 3 kids. They
35 to, square feet.
no, no, that would be a very tiny home. I know Denver's expensive, Matt, but not that small square footage.
3,500 square feet?
No,
is not
I'm
tiny.
talking about 35 to 55 years old.
Oh, okay. I was like, 35, that's a lot of square feet. Those are big homes.
Those actually are the home sizes that we do go for is at
Okay.
3,000, 5,000 square feet.
That's what I was asking. Okay,
But-
that's what you said that. I was like, all right.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to specify the
Okay,
age.
so the age. All right.
And they've got a couple of kids. They're both professionals. They're busy. They don't have time to clean.
Yep.
Price isn't a factor for them. They want value. They want trust. They want to know it's going to be consistent quality and get done in a short time frame.
Okay.
Because like you can get a cleaner for a decent price or whatever, come over.
She might
But if
be
your
at your
house
house.
5,000 square feet, she's going to go to bed with you probably.
Yeah, she'll be there when you wake up. She's gonna tuck you in at
Yeah.
night.
So our teams are expected to clean 800 square feet per hour per individual. So we do have metrics that we monitor for that and everything.
Okay.
And yeah, that's just they want it done fast but effectively and with quality. And then just they don't even want to have to think about dealing with cleaning because they want to go out, enjoy their kids' soccer games or piano lessons, or they just want to go and have fun with friends.
Yeah.
Or build their business. That's another big one. Is like this is what I tell all entrepreneurs. You should not be cleaning your own home. You should be out there working your BNI, working your leads, working your deals. Cleaning your home takes a lot of time and a lot of effort when you could be out there. How much does that cost you to clean your home? You might think, oh, I just saved X
What's your
number
hour
of
worth?
dollars. But if you were doing your business, you could have grown it.
Yeah. No, I've done the math. That's why I have a cleaner. So I 100% agree. So, plus all of like the materials that you guys use, right? It's like kind of adds up when you're buying vacuum bags and brushes and scrubbers and, all these different cleaners that you need for different things. It's glass cleaner, bleach, all of that stuff. It's like, yeah, when you do the math on all of that stuff and how much you use to clean your whole house, and then plus the time commitment that you're taking, it's like, how much are you really saving by cleaning your own house? And you're definitely not going to do it as good as someone who's professional.
Exactly. I mean, like,
and what could you be doing with that time otherwise? Even if it's not directly correlated to growing your business, you know what I mean? It's like quality of life. I could just be out playing with my kids,
Exactly.
which has its own value. And, I don't want to put a monetary value on an hour playing with my kids, but you kind of can,
Yeah, and I mean, it even has better relationships for you and your family because, like, you don't want to be the one who just cleaned up and then your kid go in there and wreck the room, and you're like, I'm gonna have a talk with you, bud.
Yeah, yeah. I texted my cleaner the other day, and I was like, "Hey, thanks for cleaning. It looked great." And it looked great until the kids got home. That's what I said. She's like, "I understand."
I mean, I get that completely, even owning a house cleaning company, right? Like, whenever I only had like a little toddler and stuff, I was at one cleaning a month for my home. And then as he got older, I went to every 2 weeks, and I just got a second kid. And so we are on weekly, and
Oh my gosh.
God knows I might go higher than that at this point because it's a lot to keep up with
It
kids.
is. It's a ton. Tell me about what's the toughest part about managing your business, about running a cleaning business that maybe most people wouldn't realize. Is it the angry clients or is it something else?
I would say it's definitely probably the same as any business. It's dealing with the people, the employees. Actually, it's not so much the customers or anything, but trying to find people who are willing to do this kind of job, right? Because like house cleaners definitely get looked down on, right? Like if you talk to folks, they'll be like, oh, you just do house cleaning and stuff. But they're out there, they're picking up your messes, like your literal messes and stuff at
Yeah.
times, right? And having to find people that are willing to do that at the rates that like make a business sustainable and will show up on time. They're going to be happy. They're going to follow process. They're going to take pictures when needed, and they can interact with the customers too. Be happy. Like that would probably be the most difficult aspect of the business.
I
But I
could
think
totally
that's
see that.
all of them.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Keeping everyone happy, you know what I mean, in that environment, knowing that it's, probably a job that has a high turnover rate. So maintaining and retaining those good employees, I bet, is challenging.
Yeah, and we've been in business for 3 years, and our average employee age is 1.9 years. So we do keep them around. Like once we find a good one, they stick with us for a while. But we do hire slow and fire fast because, like, again, it's the customer's paying good money for this, and we want to deliver outstanding results. And if you're not able to keep up with that, there's other places that may be better suited for you.
Yeah, there's other cleaning companies that don't have the standards you do.
Yeah.
You said that you're a systems guy. Tell me about some of your systems that you've implemented to automate different parts of your business.
So a big
Do you have a favorite one?
Oh, yeah. So the one that I'm about to talk about that I really like right now is Chirp, CHIIRP.
Okay.
It's an automated like text message follow-up system that you can integrate with Zapier, which is really nice. So like when an Angie's lead comes in, it hits our Zap and then goes immediately to Chirp, which starts a follow-up campaign with the customer. And it'll say, hey, Ronnie here from Company Clean. We got your information from Angie's. How can we help you with house cleaning services? And then they respond like, here's what we have. And then we're working right now on our AI integrations with it to do follow-ups. But really, whenever they answer us, right now, our front desk calls them and follows up with them, gets them on the phone within 3 minutes, because we have the metrics, man. Like if you're not doing that, it falls off and you're probably not even getting an answer from people.
Because they filled out another form and your competitor is already calling them.
Yeah. And then so Chirp will follow up with them afterwards. Like once the booking's done, it automatically says like, hey, we hope you enjoyed the cleaning. Here's a review. And what we've also done with it is
that just an internal review for you?
It's not. No, this is Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Google. Or it's actually segmented on the platform that they come through. So it'll be like, here's our Google, here's our Angie's, that kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
And then what we also have it do is based off of like frequency. It'll say, hey, if you were a one-time customer, like a month later, it'll follow up and say, hey, maybe you're due up for another cleaning, or here's some like rates on recurring services if you'd like to get in now, like get 3 months for 2 type thing, right?
Okay.
And so Chirp's just great with the follow-ups.
Cool.
Actually, one feature that I really like with it, a lot of people don't know about, is ringless voicemail. Are you familiar with this at all?
No.
So what you can do is like in all of my contacts, I can start a campaign and I can say, hey, Ronnie here, Super Bowl's coming up. You're going to want your fridge and oven looking great for all the food that you're going to have. We're running a special here. Just give us a call. I record that and then it'll blast to everyone, but it doesn't ring their phone. It just shows up as a voicemail.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
no, I've never heard that before. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
So super cool system. I love that one.
Okay, nice. Are you what are you automating, like email follow-ups too?
Yeah, that goes through our CRM, and that one does okay. Like I'm not super happy with the CRM, so I'm not going to bash them on here or anything.
Okay.
And
we don't want to shout them out either.
Well, on that one, a better front is Dope Marketing is another company that I use.
Okay.
And what we do with that for automation is, again, once a cleaning closes, it'll send it over to Dope, and it'll physically mail them 25 homes within that radius and say like, hey, we just cleaned your neighbor's home. Here's a coupon to give us a try. Right.
Wow.
Which is really nice.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So
it just pulls all their addresses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So it's like mini direct mail.
Okay. That's cool. That's very cool. So what if you clean 2 homes in the same street?
Even better.
Does it get do they get 2?
Yes, because so with direct mail, it actually takes 11 touch points for someone to even respond to you.
Okay.
So the more that happens, that's actually the better. Because you see all the junk mail that you get, right?
Yeah, but if I get the same thing three weeks in a row, I might take notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you like better, the physical mailers or like the digital touches a point?
You have to do a mix.
Both?
You have to do a mix. Like you can't just do one or the other. It has to be like everything within marketing, you can't just go all in on one thing.
Yeah.
To me, like you have to touch them in different ways.
Okay.
So again, like the text message follow up, the emails, and then they get the letters, and we do thank you cards and all of that kind of stuff. And that's just building part of the brand, right?
Yeah. What's one of the biggest mistakes you made when you were starting the business?
Immediately going with W-2 employees. So you have to actually have customers if you're going to hire part-time or full-time, and you're going to try to dedicate hours to them, right?
Yeah.
And I did not have that. I did not understand lead flow. I did not understand the best way to acquire customers. This is all at the very beginning of the business. And I didn't understand like pricing, like how to actually keep a cleaning company in business.
Right.
So
our rates, pricing yourself?
We are way undercut.
Yeah.
We are way undercut. And I had to let them go. Like we weren't giving them the quality of like job that they needed. And that was definitely my biggest mistake.
That's good. That's good advice. So you would say, hold off hiring W-2 until you absolutely have to, or do you have the business to support it?
Until you have the business to support it. Yeah. Like subs are great. Almost all home service companies use subcontractors and everything, roofers, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a good starting point because like you're not required to give them like hourly, like you're not, or not hourly, but a certain number of jobs, right?
Right. Yeah.
You can say, hey, come on board. We like you. You may get 1 job a week. You may get 20.
Yeah.
But it really just depends on us. And they work with other companies, right? So you don't have all that sitting on your shoulder the whole time of like, oh my God, like, are they putting food on the table for their family?
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not your responsibility.
Yeah. It's like you get to feel good about the work that you do send them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not counting on you to provide every single week. Yep. What about Company Clean's involvement in the community? I know you're a part of the chamber. Are you guys doing anything else in the community?
Yeah, so we like to give away free house cleanings to like folks with like disabilities or hard times, things like that, because like again, cleaning's very tough. If you're going through a divorce or just on hard times, that kind of stuff, like you don't have time for it. And if it's building up around you and your home's getting dirtier and dirtier, it affects your mentality, your mental space, right? In already difficult times. So we try to give away like as much as we can, right? Sure. Like in supporting galas, like I love to do that. Like recently, To Live For, it's what they do is they purchase equipment for folks with physical disabilities, so they can go out hiking, things like that, right? Like bicycles for kids in wheelchairs and things like that. And we went and donated like house cleanings to them at no cost to us or whatever, and just said, hey, use this for your gala, raise money, right? And we do that with To Live For, we do that with developmental pathways, and just always trying to work those relationships and give back to the community.
Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite part about having a business.
Yeah.
Is being able to give back to the community.
And it is personal for me too, because like my cousin, he grew up with muscular dystrophy, and his parents were always taking him to the hospital. They had like physical therapy that they were always at. They never had time to clean the home, right?
Right.
And like I could see it for him, like it was hard to make friends as it was like with like trying to fight the muscular dystrophy and everything, and to already have trouble making friends normally, and then saying like, hey, come over to my home and it's really dirty, like you're embarrassed by that and you don't want to invite people. And I was like, I don't want other people to have to go through that, right? So if we can make a difference like that, that'd be awesome.
That's beautiful. That's cool. Good for you guys. I love that. I wish every business was that thoughtful, you know. I think we talked, do you guys have any celebrity houses that you clean? Can you talk about any of that?
I would say we only have one, and I don't think he'll mind or anything, but Eric Goodman, he's like the voice of he does the radio host for like the sports radio. And
everything. Yeah. I know that name.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
we clean his home
I
everything.
wonder if they ever hear him
discreet.
practicing his radio voice in the other room.
Probably, but yes, we are very discreet on like what it is like at homes and all of that. But that would probably be the biggest one that we have at the moment.
Cool. I was just curious if you were cleaning Mike Malone's home or not, the Nuggets coach. He
lives
down in Highlands Ranch,
yes,
right?
out in backcountry. Yep. And we are definitely working on direct mail campaigns in that area for folks like that.
I know he plays. I live over by some pickleball courts, and we walked up one day to play pickleball, me and my friends, and he was there playing. And I was like, wait a second.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we didn't really talk to him very much. He was like talking with his friends, and then he peaced out. So
Though the thing about celebrities is that like depending on their income threshold is they have cleaning people on staff. Like they're not going to go and hire a cleaning company. Fair. It's just they're like that's part of our crew.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You get to a certain tax bracket, I guess you just have a cleaner. Yeah. Or you have someone who manages the home that's going to do that.
So are you familiar with Tommy Mello at all?
I don't think so.
So he runs A1 Garage Doors. It's a very large home service business, probably one of the biggest in America. And I had the opportunity to have dinner with him one time. And I asked him, I was like, how did you hire your house cleaners? And that's what he told me. He goes, look, they're on my staff. Like, I don't go and hire house cleaning companies or anything like that. He's like, we just spend enough on it to where we just have them as part of our payroll. Okay. And that was a very good business lesson for me because I was like, I know not to market to people at that level.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there is an upper threshold that we would go towards and not go beyond that because...
Are you dialing in your Google ads that tight?
That's very difficult. I'm not skilled enough to do that yet. Yeah. I understand like you can do based off of income and everything,
household
but
income.
How to target that kind of person, I'm not sure. Because I even struggle like straight up on how to differentiate between people typing in house cleaning service when they want a deep clean or a recurring service.
Okay.
Because I would like different landing pages and materials for it. And I don't know how to separate that yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's tough.
I haven't seen ad agencies be able to do that for me yet either.
Well, they're probably not typing in anything different because they don't really realize it. So, but then it's on you to have material, the landing page to capture both of them, which is hard.
But that's where direct mail comes in.
Yeah.
Because you can much easier target like high income zip codes and blast those areas.
Do you do anything with U-Haul? People who are renting U-Hauls?
No.
Tying in? Okay.
Like for move in, move out type thing or something?
Yeah, specifically maybe just for move out because they're going to be renting a U-Haul. They do that usually a week in advance or something. So
no, that would be a good place to leave materials. No, I hadn't even thought of that one.
Okay. Yeah, I knew someone else who was doing moving that would tie in their moving services with if you rented a U-Haul, they could send movers. They would target you to send movers
that's
to your house to help you load the U-Haul.
Well, there we go. Yeah. I mean, I have power partners with movers, realtors, etc.
Okay.
But to me, like the biggest problem that I face in my company right now is people just don't know about me. And that's the thing. So the more avenues like that, it can't cost.
You should go on our
much.
podcast.
Yeah, I definitely should.
What's some of the best business advice? You seem like you dive deep into learning about business. What is some of the best business advice that you've gotten that you might want to share with our listeners?
Best business advice. Just always be learning, really is what it comes down to. You should always be educating yourself. First off, actually, I'd take a step back and understand your goals. What is your goal for your business, right? Because that's going to set the education path that you go down. Like if you just want to run like a local mom and pop, you're not going to be probably reading like marketing books, scaling books, like how to be acquired by like a PE, like private equity or something, right?
Right, yeah.
You might be just reading like how to win friends and influence people, like just so you're better at your day-to-day.
Work-life balance type stuff.
But, understanding your goal, where you're trying to get, and then educating yourself on where you're trying to head.
Okay.
Because like definitely like what's helped me scale or get to where I'm at in the business is just reading books, listening to podcasts, and then based off of that, it's one thing to educate yourself and get ideas, but then you have to implement them. You have to actually do that stuff. And you can get analysis paralysis and it becomes difficult. So just take action, do what you think is going to help your business, and it will start to take off from there, and be consistent with it.
Yeah. Be consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to pull the plug if something's not working. Right. You got any good book recommendations for us? What's your favorite business books?
So the two that I like to just read over and over is $100 Million Leads and $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy.
Okay, yeah.
Because those help you craft killer offers, and then it explains to you how to get those offers in front of people.
Okay.
So it's really well written. It's very short, and it's one of the few books that actually has like direct ways to to take what he's teaching you and put it into
Implement
practice.
it.
Because
Yeah. I like books that come with like workbooks. Yeah.
and they have one. They have $100 million leads workbop that you can pick up. Weirdly enough, there's an Audible version of it, and he says people buy it and love it. But
Okay. Is it his? Is it him reading it?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
it really?
He reads all of his stuff.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That guy does. He's everywhere, man. He's all over the internet. Everywhere I look.
And one of the few like legit, real deal people out there.
Yeah,
I think.
it seems
'Cause,
like it.
Everything that he says, you can. Again, you have to actually do it, but he gives you how to do it, right? Cool. And so his books are awesome. Can't recommend those two enough.
Nice. Okay, great. All right, tell me about where you see Company Clean in sort of like the next 5 to 10 years. What's the big goal for you? You were just talking about business goals and understanding where you want your business to go. What is that for you?
So I try not to even plan 5 years out because like just there's so much that can happen. I mean, like look, if like COVID or any of that.
But you have to work in a certain direction, right?
For sure.
And so, you know, I think I have like, I know where I want very vaguely where I want my business to go in 5 to 10 years. Now, I'm not necessarily, you know, reverse engineering that and doing a bunch of stuff today to do and pushing all my chips in on that 5-10 year vision. But I am doing little things now to make sure that I'm moving in that direction at least. If you're not moving in the direction, you're just being stagnant, right?
I mean, I do say that, but I actually have written out like where I see myself at 85, 65, 55, 45. And so I do have like places that I want to go. But with the business itself, I try to plan about 3 years out.
Okay.
And where I see that is getting cars. That's my big thing. I want to get wrapped vehicles.
Okay.
Really dial in our brand. And I want to... to me, my big success story, like what I was telling you about, like we want to pay our people very well. I would love it if I had someone that came in, didn't understand how to speak English. We taught them English and then we got them to buy a house. That would be my success story within 3 years.
Okay. So your success is helping your employees have success.
Yeah.
Okay. And you believe that if you just take care of them, then the business is going to be successful.
Yeah, they're going to, because those kind of folks will go to battle for you, right? Sure. They're going to make sure that you win too. And it's going to really just put that loyalty into place. And then it's going to attract a lot of the best talent out there. A lot of the best talent doesn't do house cleaning right now, but they see that kind of stuff and they'll be like, interesting. Now let me see what Company Clean can do for me.
Cool. So part of that is recruiting the best cleaners too, finding and recruiting them.
Yeah, the way that I look at the business is I don't really even do house cleaning. It's recruitment and talent is the big one. And then we are a time management business. Like whenever a customer comes to us, they're not buying house cleaning, they're buying time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because anybody can pretty much technically clean a house. Everybody can, if you're an able-bodied person, you can sweep, you can scrub, you know what I mean? You can pick things up and put them away. It's like, do you want to? Do you have the motivation? Do you have the time? Do you have the energy? Right? And so you're buying all of that. You're buying youthfulness too, probably sometimes. Well, cool, man. Why don't you tell everyone sort of where they can find you and the best place to hit you up if they want to get their house cleaned?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. That's where we post all of like our before and after photos for our house cleanings. And then you can keep up with me on LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn, Ronnie Kendrick Company Clean.
Cool. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, exactly. And then for like where to find us online is companyclean.co. You can book online right there if you want, or you can give us a call and get the best house cleaning here in South Denver.
Cool, man. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time and look forward to your future and continued success.
All right. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.